Alright folks, welcome back to some Baldur's Gate 3. And in this video is going to be a bit more of an informational video than continuing with the Let's Play, which I will do in the next video. From the last video, I had started to get kind of agitated with a bunch of the bugs and stuff that were going on. And so I decided I was going to wait until patch 3 before I resumed my LP. But in between there, I decided I wanted to get a few things ready to go. And as you can see here, I've hired some hirelings here. I've got Brenna Brightsong, Zenitha, and Kurz. And this is just to help round out my party, because I split my party up pretty much into different adventuring groups, because Shadowheart and Lae'zel don't get along very well. And if you take those guys into town with you and try to get stuff done, you'll start getting a bunch of approvals and disapprovals going back and forth any which way, because those two don't get along. And so to try to alleviate that, I've tried to group my party members in such a way that I can cater to them so I can get their approval ratings as best as possible. And so I've got a group. The group I have with me now is for something else entirely. This is not one of my adventuring groups, and I'll show you what that's for in just a minute. But my so for instance, like with Asterion, I group him with Lae'zel and with Brenna down there, since she's neutral, and myself. So I got Lae'zel and Asterion, and they're pretty much they get along because they're kind of devious, you know. They're kind of evil in the ways they like to conclude things, and so you can get more positive approval with the party of Lae'zel and Asterion. And of course,
still alive, so that's progress.
As you can see, Brenna here, she doesn't have any approval rating. So she's always neutral, so she'll just do whatever you want.
There is work to do.
She isn't like these guys here that have these approval ratings down here. So, and that's
still alive, so that's progress.
That's part of the bonus for choosing these or hiring these hirelings, is that you can do pretty much what you want with them in conversation, and they won't approve or disapprove. They'll just follow you wherever, and you can make up parties with them. So I'm going to probably have Karlach and Will and Shadowheart and myself party together, and then I'll have Gale, Zenitha, and who's this other guy? Kurz party together. And I might mix and match that a bit, but that's why I have those hirelings over here. Now, if you look at my inventory right here, you can see that I have a lot of gold up there in the right hand corner. I got 2,622 gold. If you come in here and look at my chest over here, you can see that I'm stocked up on food. What we got here? Some alchemy ingredients. Not ingredients, but products. Bunch of arrows and stuff. Bunch of water. Bunch of potions, including these elixirs of heal giant strength. And those of you who've been playing this game for a while know where I got those from. Got these chest full of scrolls piled up. 20 scrolls of Revivify on backup. I mean, you get the drift. I just got a bunch of stuff here. There's my weapon stash. All right, and so how have I gotten all this stuff? I'm still in Act 1. I don't even have Will yet. I told you guys when I last played the game that I was going to rewind it a bit and go through that hollow area and Emerald Grove because I wanted to be able to interact with Volo a little bit, and it kind of moved time forward for me when I did the long rest. So I wanted to redo that. I was going to redo that and have that all ready to go by the time I came back here, but I decided to do something else instead. All right, now let's get out of here. Now, what I came to realize is that there's really no way to buff your party up in this game like you would in, say, Skyrim or something like that. You can't run around farming monsters, farming respawnable respawnable mobs because they just don't respawn. You can't fish, you can't hunt, you can't do any of that stuff here in Baldur's Gate 3 because Larian just didn't put it in there. You know, but that's just not Larian's way. You know, I've walked around here several times and there's just no animals to hunt. There's no animals to hunt, there's no random encounters. And I thought for sure, this being a D&D game, that they'd have some random encounters, but there are none. So you can't build your party up. Short of moving the story forward or risking open up new branches of the story. There's not much you can do except for one thing, and that's steal from people. All right? Now, I got kind of overly critical when I thought about that. And I thought to myself, man, that's not Dungeons and Dragons. You know, one of the things I loved when I first started playing Dungeons and Dragons when I was like 13 years old is that the game rules accounted for everything. You know, different ways to make a livelihood and all that stuff. You know, you could be a blacksmith, you could do this, you could do that. And in this game, there's none of that. I mean, you just can't do any of it. So, how does your character earn a living besides just adventuring? And because this is Larian Studios, I guess the answer is to rob people. You know? And I came to the conclusion that this isn't Wizard of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons. This is Larian Studios Dungeons and Dragons. And so to make the most of it, you need to play Larian Studios Dungeons and Dragons. And Larian Studios, for the most part, is a bit more risque, you know? Less judgmental. You know, they don't follow the whole goody two-shoes way of doing everything. You know, stealing from people's fine in Larian Studio games, as long as you don't get caught. All right? And so that's what I've been doing. So first of all, let me set my party up here. One of the first things I do is give everybody a disguise. And the cool thing about this helmet is you can take it up, put it on, and take it off, and you don't lose your illusion. So I'm gonna turn everybody into drow here, just because. You can choose any one of these things you want. The goal is just to make sure everybody's
There's no time to waste.
not themselves. That's all.
At least things have stayed interesting.
I did want to say something about the patch 3 that happened, and that's that I'm very impressed with what they did there. Granted, I'm still only in Act 1, and I did that on purpose because I didn't want to encounter a bunch of the bugs I heard about in Chapter 3. And I wanted them to see if they can clear up as many bugs as possible that lead up to Act 3 before I started even heading that way. But as you can see, they fixed the proficiency things here, which were one of my biggest gripes. That was a big pet peeve of mine, that they didn't have the intelligence skill proficiency showed here. But as you see, they fixed those. You got history and arcana and investigation sitting there now. This sidebar over here is also much faster.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
I don't know how familiar you are with using it, but sometimes there was a delay between how fast you could click on the characters, and you can go through there much faster now. Actually, I've got to do something first. I apologize. You know, as a matter of fact, let's just go to camp first. I'm going to have to do all that over again. What has to happen is I have to rest first. And this is actually pretty good for me to show you this, because this kind of shows you what I do after I steal from these guys over here in Emerald Grove. So you just come down here, and I don't use any food because you don't need it. You don't need much to steal over there. All right, you best just do a partial rest. You don't use any food at all. As you can see, I've stockpiled a lot of food. I got 51 of these supply packs over here. Oh, I also turn the difficulty up to tactician, since I'm pretty clearly going to be ahead on a lot of stuff now. Everyone's got +1 weapons, some magic armor. As you can see, my Tav here, my main character, she's got dual hand crossbows +1, and she's got some magic armor. These are the boots I stole from, this is Damon. And short swords +1. So she's all set up. All right, let's go back out of here. And so, let me do this again real quick.
Careful, I bite.
I'm ready. Whatever it takes.
I can do stuff a lot faster when I'm not trying to talk at the same time.
Let's move. Never a dull moment.
Now you'll need a few spells here to get this done. The person I like to rob up here, I call him Aaron Sugar Daddy. And quite honestly, man, it feels like Larry just kind of put this guy out here and just like rob me, because he doesn't follow a lot of the rules that some of the other people do. Like if you try to rob some of these other guys in here, they'll start running around all over the place trying to tell on you and call the guards. Not Aaron or Aaron. He just lets you rob him. So we come in here disguised like Drow. Just a Drow adventuring party. And we take a little detour over here, which is where I like to set up.
Just out of view.
What a day on the hunt.
All's well that ends not as bad as it could have.
Alright, first thing you're going to do is give Asterion Cat's Grace.
Can't risk being in open view. All right, time to skulk about.
And then we're going to put her down here right by Aaron. There's our target right there. As you can see, there's a lot of blood by him because I've been robbing him blind like about twice a playing session. You know, I've been playing other games, but every once in a while I'll come down here, load up Baldur's Gate while I was waiting for the patch, and just rob Aaron over here. You see he's bloodless. I've had Asterion sucking on him and everything else.
I was trying to concentrate.
What's next?
Next, we're gonna bring Shadowheart over here,
Perfectly hidden.
and then we're gonna get a save in here. I need to erase some of these. We'll call this one Drawthon again. And we'll give him guidance.
Calm and quiet, that's the way. Quiet as a mouse.
What is it?
All right, now we'll walk him down here. And one of the things you find when you start looking up on the internet how to make money in Baldur's Gate 2 is how to steal, how to steal, how to steal, 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 steal. That's because, like I said, there's not a lot you can do in this game to get ahead except to rob people. That's just the Larian way, I guess. So you come down here You got Cat's Grace on Asterion. Guidance is on Asterion. I've got 5 turns left on Guidance. You come down here, you go into turn-based mode. It's very important. You come down here, you go into turn-based mode, and then you start your pickpocket.
A little chicanery.
Alright, now. If everything goes to plan, you can steal everything out of here without him getting alerted. But I found that that doesn't really happen that often. Well, I mean, it does, I guess, but a lot of times you'll get caught. And usually it's because I get double snake eyes, which is supposed to be pretty rare, but it happens, man. Trust me, it happens. In all honesty, with how high Asterion's sleight of hand is, for most of the stuff I can't fail unless I roll double snake eyes.
Don't mind if I do. Not even a challenge. You're coming with me.
He's got 7 sleight of hand.
A little souvenir.
He's got 7 sleight of hand with just his attributes.
Delightful.
He's got
A quick profit.
+3 from items I'm wearing,
Almost too easy.
and then the +1d4 from guidance.
What a generous pocket.
And he's got advantage
Bless the oblivious.
because I got Cat's Grace on him. So
Like candy from a gnome.
it's like,
Quick and easy.
unless you get double snake eyes from advantage failing you,
Bless the oblivious.
he really can't fail on most of these things. He can still fail on some of them, though. And I usually save those for the last.
Thank you. Quick and easy. A little souvenir. Almost too easy.
Now, I mean, like, the way I'm doing this here, this is like,
What a generous pocket.
this is not the way Dungeons and Dragons work, but like I said,
Don't mind if I do.
I decided to stop being so overly critical with the game so I can enjoy it
Delightful.
with Larian's take on it. Alright? This is not Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons. This is Larian Studios Dungeons and Dragons.
You're coming with me. So. Not even a challenge.
Now you see, all these targets are at 0, and so here's one that's more difficult. But all these here, some at -0 and stuff, I just can't fail at those
Like candy from a gnome.
unless I get double snake eyes.
Delightful.
Unless I get snake eyes,
Don't mind if I do.
and that's double ones, just in case you didn't know.
Bless the oblivious. A little souvenir.
Which, from what I read, is like 1 in a 400 chance or something like that.
Almost too easy.
But trust me, it happens.
So. You're coming with me.
So, like, all these, they're unfailable
Like candy from a gnome.
unless I roll snake eyes.
Thank you. Quick and easy. Not even a challenge. A quick profit. What a generous pocket.
And the reason why you kind of see me going over everything twice here is because before this patch, when you highlight an object, sometimes it would have like an erroneous, like dull die roll showing. They seem to have fixed that, but you know, my habit is to
Thank you.
go over everything a couple of times to make sure the correct dice roll is showing.
What a generous pocket.
All right. Now, as you see, he's getting kind of heavy here. 55 out of 120. That's another thing they fixed. You can actually see how much weight each character can carry now. That's something that was broken before. And I'll just send some of this stuff to Ivy. some of the heavier stuff. When I first saw Christopher Ott and those guys playing this game, I said, you know what, I'm not going to use those magic pockets. That's cheap. But, you know, this is Larian Studios Dungeon Dragon, so I want to cut some corners here. All right. So we got target 5 here. Let me turn this off. Got target 5 here. These ones I can fail on, like 9, the 10, and the 13. These ones not so much, so unless I get the snake eyes.
A little souvenir.
But I like to transfer the stuff over to Ivy just so he doesn't get too heavy.
A quick profit. So,
And actually, I hope I fail here because I want to show you something. I want to show you why I put Brenna down there.
don't mind.
You're being arrested for theft. If you have a defense, make it now.
All right, now, normally, I only have like 3 options here. But I'm not going to try to talk my way out of it. This is how I've been handling it. This would probably be a good way to try, and I might do that next time. But here's how I've been handling it pretty much every time. I just start attacking them. Now, Asterion, I chose Assassin for him. So that means I automatically get all my rolls back, all my actions back when I start combat. And I get advantage over him as well. But I don't want to kill him. That's not my goal here. My goal is I want to keep robbing him, actually. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in here and turn on non-lethal attacks. Because I don't want to kill him. And then I'm going to choose to sneak attack him. As you can see, he's fighting with his hands because I stole his weapons earlier. He doesn't have any weapons to fight with. And he never gets them back, so... Now that's all I kind of needed right there. This is where Brenna comes in.
I can be subtle sometimes.
And all I need her to do is cast sleep. Level 1 sleep now. Because that sneak attack lowered his hit points. See, now he's 18, and that puts him within range for low level sleep. 24 hit points. So now I can put him to sleep.
Can you feel death's cold grip?
Alright, now as a cunning action, because he's a rogue, I can go back into hiding.
Just like old times.
And I can't do anything now, but on next turn,
Where do I go from here?
I can go back to pickpocketing this guy.
While they're distracted.
So let's try for the scrolls here.
Back to the fight. Time to go.
Alright, let's give this to Ivy. And we'll try this last one here. 13, come on.
And now we go.
Alright, so I failed that time. But all is not lost. Alright, I'm going to end my turn.
Another fight. Let's go.
She's going to end her turn. He's going to wake up. I'm going to select her again.
Well, so much for peace.
I've got 1 sleep left. Alright.
Let's have some carnage.
Go back to Asteria. Do our cunning action hide.
Let's have a little fun.
And we'll try to rob him again.
Cut a person, then a throat. A quick profit.
Alright. And now we start running out of here.
Nothing important is ever easy.
We'll start with her. You want to try to get far enough away from him before he wakes up.
Another step forward.
Time for a cull. Keep them guessing.
Alright, now Brenna's got to really get out of here.
Nothing will stand in my way. Right, time to skulk about. One day, I'll catch a break.
Be quick.
Now, Asterion can actually dash twice. In case you did not know. He can't go as far the first time, but he can dash twice.
My faith protects me.
You want to get her out of here as much as far as possible.
The dance macabre.
Now you could just flee from combat, but to me that's just too cheesy. All right, that's too cheesy.
I wonder if this is
You
worth
flee
the
from
cost.
combat and your guy just disappears out of the complete area, just goes to camp. To me, that's just too cheesy. So I don't use that. Actually, let's get her up here as far as possible.
Light on my feet.
There's a good chance that old Aderon Sugar Daddy up there is gonna come over here and try to
Let's spill some blood.
see what's going on here. So you want to get everybody away from him as far as possible. All right, let's move him over here.
Quickly.
And once you get everybody far enough away, if you get everybody far enough away, now Aaron's going to start looking around. like I said, you could just flee from combat, but to me that's just too cheesy, man.
What now?
So I like to actually run. See, he's close, but he can't quite see us yet. And if I can get far enough away, he'll actually give up the chase.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
I'm ready.
He's looking around. He's looking around. So we were far enough away that he couldn't find us. All right. So it just ended right there. Now if I come over here with Asterion, Aider on sugar, Daddy. Probably went back down there. Okay, he's walking back now. Alright, and that's pretty much it. That's what I've been doing. That's pretty much what I've been doing to make all that money and stuff, man. Just robbing Aider sugar daddy. So you want to save right here. But of course that's not all I've been doing. Because you saw those weapons and stuff I had and the elixirs of hill giant strength. So what am I doing after that? Well, after that, I'm actually doing things legit. I'm going into town and buying things. Well, that's another thing that changed, unfortunately, with the patch.
Let's keep to the shadows.
Is it they used to have it to where even if you chose, and the option is to turn off all this stuff down here. Where is that? Where is it at? All this stuff that I turned off, so it's not just automatically adding stuff to the hotbar. It used to add the ability to turn off the disguise anyway, which is pretty useful, I thought, but it wasn't really following what the option said it should. It shouldn't be putting anything on your hotbars without you saying it can. So that's a change that they made that kind of made things worse for me, but it is following the rules now. So it's all right. I'm all right with that.
Keeping my head down.
Unfortunately, that means I gotta come in here every time and choose this as a slot to get it to go off.
Can't afford to stay idle.
I mean, I don't know if I explained that well, but what it used to do is it used to automatically just put this in shapeshift up here automatically, even when it wasn't supposed to.
Should have worn better boots.
I mean, it's an extra step, but it's not that bad. Now, you don't even have to do this if you don't want to, but what I like to do is simulate a pack of drow came in, somebody got robbed, but it wasn't us. No, it couldn't have been us, y'all, because look, we're completely different people. We're not a pack of drow.
All right, what now?
No, we're not a pack of drow. Look at us. We're the people that helped you guys, man. We fended off the goblins. So if I come down here and talk to Aider, sugar daddy, he'll act like nothing happened. He'll be like, what's up, y'all? What's up? Thanks for helping out.
Refugees, adventurers, no one in years, and suddenly we're overwhelmed. Well met. And thank you for beating back those goblins.
Ah,
Most brave of you. Is there
Well-
anything you need? Act fast if you do. The ritual will be complete before too long.
are you sure you even have anything to sell? Let's see.
Just some bits and bobs I no longer need.
Really? Oh, you're not selling shit, bro. I stole it all.
Sylvanas, guide your path.
Ah. Sorry you got robbed, bro. Look at all this. Who's this? Is this your blood? Is that your blood, bro? That's your blood I'm trampling all over the sand here? Ah. Sucks to be you, bro. Now, I came down here at an earlier time and set up this great heist where I robbed Damon, and I tried to rob Auntie Ethel over there, and you can do that, man, but it doesn't work out very well. I mean, I did something like got all these guys over here by playing some
Grumpy Roller.
Put that
We'll
over.
get to the city soon. I am not grumpy.
Where's
Scowl on
that?
your face would frighten a troll. You're an idiot.
by playing some music. I got everybody to come over here, but I had her in a place where Damon wouldn't come over, and then I went over there with Asterion and robbed Damon. Everybody's sitting over here, and I got her back to the wall, see, so I could go over there and try to rob Auntie Ethel, but it didn't work very well. She's like unrobbable, man. But yeah, if you want to kind of make people turn away from others, put your bards back to a wall so they can't stand behind her, because you don't want anybody looking from behind her towards you. You want them all kind of looking at her from in front of her or from the sides. And see, then you could take Asterion over here. Oh shit, well, messed that up. Anyway, you could have took,
Thunderwave.
with them looking at her, she could have took Asterion over here and tried to rob Auntie Ethel. But Auntie Ethel was like too hard to rob, so we couldn't rob her. Alright, so let's get these guys back up here.
We're exposed now.
Looking ahead.
And the reason why I have Brenna over here doing all my shopkeeping is because she's got the best charisma and persuasion, I think. Yeah. She got +7 performance and still failed right there, as you saw.
Looking for steel? I have, well, something close.
Yeah, you can see I've been busy. I done piled him up with a bunch of stuff from Aeron Sugar Daddy. And usually I come in here and just look for a few of these weapons here I might want. Got a hand crossbow, light crossbow, short sword, scimitar. You know, kind of pick and choose what you want. Got plenty of money. I just stole like 600 from so I'm just gonna take all this. Well, not all this stuff. I don't want all these things. Matter of fact, I don't want these up here either. We'll take the hand crossbow though, and I'll take the scimitar, and I'll take the short sword, and I'll take the spear. I don't want the great club. Got 333 over here. Just go down here to there's a Asterion stash at. Actually, I think I can just bounce the offer over here. No, can't, because he's not the one doing the shopping. Alright, so we'll put some gold over here. I usually like to give them a little bit extra, since I'm robbing the hell out of these people anyway. And there we go. Got that there.
Hell's take me. What I wouldn't do for better tools.
And that's how I robbed him from doing that trick I just showed you with the Bard. He was all the way over there listening to her play. I brought a stereo over here and robbed all this stuff in this box over here. It's like a breastplate plus one, some heavy boots.
Depends. How many people are dumb enough to ask?
True.
She's got food to sell, but if you talk to her too many times, she won't talk. She won't trade with you anymore.
Hello, Petal. Need anything? Any lotions or potions? Hey, bother.
So here's Auntie Ethel over here. And usually I just put all this. You can see I've been busy. I've been busy. Look at that. I've been busy. Yeah. Put this stuff over here. All this heavy stuff. I don't need all that. And I take her goodies over here. And then I'll bounce that up with her, some of her gold. And there we go. As you can see, my attitude towards her is plus 100. So I actually gave Ethel some money to, so I'd have some better trading values.
Take care now, sweetie.
That's where I'm getting all those elixirs of hill giant strength from. And there's a lot of people you can trade with around here if you really want to. If you wanted to give them all 600 gold or so is what it usually takes for Brenna to get them full positive attitude towards her. Man, you need to clean this shit up, bro. Serious, bro. You need to clean that up. Anyway. You just come over to Thief Central over here. You're probably saying, "Why are you walking?" You guys know me, man. I'm role playing. I'm back to role playing just a little bit. Even though this is an instructional video, I'm back to role playing. Come on, y'all. Y'all know how I do.
Hey, you here to trade or?
So I've talked to him enough and went through enough of his dialogue that he won't just trade with me through dialogue anymore. But see, you can still got that triangle down there. You can still trade. As long as they talk to you, you can still trade with them. That woman I was talking about before, next to the pot, she won't even talk to me anymore. There's no dialogue with her, so you can't buy any of her stuff anymore. Which I think is kind of silly, but, you know, whatever. Basically, you can't accept any pots of you can't accept a pot of gruel from her, or a bowl of gruel from her. If you accept that, she eventually stops talking to you. Matter of fact, I should have just showed you guys that, what she does. She just tells you you've already had your share and to move on. So. Oh, I can't balance it now. Wait a minute. Oh, that's her stuff. All right. Give him a little extra.
Bye, I guess.
And that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys. with this video. You can see I rewound it back to the point to where I still have to go talk to those guys down there. I actually still don't have I don't have Will either, as you saw from my camp. And the reason why I did that is because when you do a bunch of long rests, it starts to move forward the rest of the guys like nighttime activities and stuff. And I actually ended up doing a lot of stuff.
Always sharp.
A lot of stuff with Shadowheart off camera that I didn't want to, because of I was long resting so that I could reset Aaron Sugar Daddy's inventory. And so if you see from here in the journal, the Daughter of Doctors, she's got a lot more stuff in there. And unfortunately, that's stuff that you guys missed, that I just went through myself because I wasn't recording for about a week waiting for this patch. But I still wanted to play and do something, so I was robbing Aaron. But yeah. So a lot of her dialogue is moved forward. I didn't want that to happen with Will and anybody else. So that's why I left Will to get again later on.
All right. What now?
And so when I come back, and I know we already did this before, but I'm going to go through, get Will again. I'm going to go through and talk to those guys down there again. I'm going to have some extra money with me, so I'll actually be able to buy some stuff from Volo. And that's what we'll be when we next...
Waiting's getting to me. If we left, we could at least make a run for it.
That's where we'll be when we come back. So that's been another episode of Baldur's Gate 3. I know that was a bunch of talking, a bunch of slow stuff going on, but I wanted to kind of catch up to where I was, and especially where I was with my attitude towards the game. I'm actually very happy with what this last patch did. You know, a lot of the minor gripes I was having, they fixed up. You know, they fixed up. The inventory shows the proper weight balance now, how much you have and how much you can hold. They've got the proficiency showing now. That was a pet peeve of mine. I found that there was one of these.
Can't keep the goblins out forever.
There was one of these shapeshifter things that wasn't working. I think the half-elf one was actually making your character look like Will. If you chose the male one, you know. And for a deluxe item that people spent extra money on, that was pretty ridiculous, you know. People spent extra money for that item and it wasn't working right. It's like you guys didn't even test that out. But you know, that negativity aside, I'm actually very happy with what the patch 3 did, and it gives me more confidence to play the game without feeling like I'm gonna run into a bug every 5 seconds. You know, and that's not me trying to say that the game is just free of bugs and stuff now. I'm sure it's still got some problems. I'm still in Act 1, and Act 1 is one of the acts that they were set to work better anyway. It was Act 3 that's supposed to have all the problems. But from what I've seen so far, I'm very happy with what Larian's doing with these patches. Alright. I just wanted to say that because I think they deserve to have a little bit of respect thrown their way for doing what they're doing. You know, I was pretty salty in some of the past episodes, but I'm pretty happy about what I see here now, and it gives me confidence that they're gonna fix as much stuff as they can. You know, so having said all that, that's been another episode of Baldur's Gate 3. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.